Welcome to alistairhudson.com. This is the first act in Real Trusts of Real Property. Once upon a time, in beautiful, rural, green England, there was a magical, beautiful castle. And this castle was in a land that was governed by a kind old king. The kind old king had found himself a beautiful princess, and they had decided to marry so that they could live together forever in their beautiful castle. The wedding was fabulous. There were wedding guests. People brought flowers. There were celebrities there. Princess Padme from Star Wars, for example. The whole thing was videoed for posterity, and all the subjects were happy because these two English people would live together in their castle forever and ever and ever. Yeah, right. That's not how real life works, as we know. Let's instead have Claire. Claire's a doctor. Claire lives with her boyfriend George. They don't unfortunately live in a castle. Instead, they live somewhere like this. In the English Midlands, in a small house. It's wet and it's cold and it's dark most of the time. Two of them have a relationship. They've been going out together for a couple of years until they go to a party and it all goes horribly wrong. Because George takes up with Pam, has a tempestuous row as a result with Claire, and Claire instead takes up with kindly old Alan. As we know, it's paunchy, bald, middle-aged men that are always the most attractive. Alan has a hardware business, and Claire works as a junior doctor. They start to live together, and they have a child who also has a teddy bear, and they also have a cat. And the two of them live together in another small house in the Midlands. They don't marry. They've got together, remember, at a party, and the birth of the child is something of a surprise. And what's also slightly suspicious is that the child looks rather like one of the guests at the original wedding, but let's not go into that now. They've never discussed how they're going to come together in this way, but the child has a lot of medical problems. And so what the couple decide to do is to provide private medical care, as Claire works in the NHS and she's suspicious. So the decision is made that Claire is going to pay for all the child's medical care, and that's going to cost about £1,000 a month. And meanwhile, her partner, oh, it's Princess Padme still in the background, her partner is going to pay for the mortgage on their property. And we assume that they have bought their house entirely by way of a mortgage. So he is paying for all of the housing costs and she is paying for all the child's medical expenses. And at their time, their interest-only mortgage costs them, let's say, £1,000 per month. When they separate later on, the question is who gets what rights in the house. Remember, they've never married. So we transfer the couple's problems, all the stress of litigation, to a courtroom. Instead of talking about their lives in the way that they remember, instead we bring them to court and we bring them in front of barristers who are dressed suspiciously like Harry Potter. Now what happens in this relationship? Let's make this like a proper relationship, proper bit of litigation. Let's have them standing back to back. We then have to start thinking about, well, what does the law say? And we're going to focus in these vidcasts on a few judges principally and a few key cases. One of the key judgments in this area is that of Lord Bridge giving the leading speech in Lloyd's Bank against Rossett. Lord Bridge says there are two ways in which you can acquire rights in the home in situations